And we're back. This is the Great Classic Rock Debate. I'm Kenny.
I'm Paul with zero qualifications.
And I'm Steve.
And we talk anything and everything classic rock. We try to keep it interesting. We try to have fun. If you're watching right now, please like, comment, and subscribe. We will love you for that. Gentlemen, let's get into it. There's no single standout topic this week. However, there's some assorted things floating around. Paul, you sent us a text about Steve Miller.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to confess. I really had no idea he was even still alive. Not that I had any reason to think that he wasn't, but he's got to be getting up there, Steve Miller.
He's in his 80s, it said.
Abracadabra, he's back.
Yeah, right. And so without getting into a big thing, he decided that because of climate change, he's not going to tour anymore or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Maybe it's because of ticket sales.
That's exactly the real reason, Steve.
I was just getting ready to say, Steve Miller's still touring. Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but anyway, again, we won't beat that one to death. But what a strange piece of news that was.
I don't understand these people. Like, they didn't want to go into war in Iraq 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Are they that? Like, I remember when I was at UCLA, I got in an argument at a party of like 80 people versus me, and that movie, the Michael Moore movie about Fahrenheit 9/11 and all that garbage.
Right.
And they're like, George Bush's policy said, look, I don't care if you hate George Bush. You can hate him all day long. I never voted for George Bush, by the way. The younger one. But you could say you hate him, but the man can change hurricanes. Are you seriously advancing that argument? That is just a complete lunacy. You're insane. Right?
Yeah, no, I remember people saying, that he created the Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like,
oh my God.
Like, so all of a sudden we jumped to comic book stature of a villain. So it's
right.
So
I don't know how insane people are. It doesn't matter. Like, Trump is getting all the flack. He has been getting all the flack since for the last 8 years.
Right.
If whoever it is, whoever the next Republican president is or candidate, it's going to be just as bad. It's not going to be they're not going to let up.
Oh my God. The stuff to say was, remember that, like that woman, Randy Rose, she would, for like years, she would pick up ABB, anyone but Bush. Guess what? Now you got Trump. It's like, like what an idiot she is. Like, okay, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever, like I said, whoever is the next Republican candidate for president, he will be the devil's
Antichrist. Yeah. He'll be the Antichrist times 7.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not going to stay on that one, but
okay, go ahead.
As we say, this isn't a political show, but we all have pretty strong political opinions. Okay, so listen, I heard a song twice in the past week from about 20, I think it was 2001, so 24 years ago. And I wanted to hear what you guys think about this song and this band or whatever. You might not have a whole lot of thoughts. The song that I've heard a couple of times is this song called Hemorrhage, in parentheses, In My Hands, and the band is Fuel. And it was a pretty good sized rock hit back around 2001. Do you guys remember that song?
Oh, no, unfortunately, I do.
I listened to what's the song? Their big hit today?
Shimmer.
I listened to that today. I like that song. I'm sorry.
I think it's a great song.
But the other one, I have to go back and listen.
Well, one of the reasons I bring it up is because the song Hemorrhage, I think it's an okay song. I get the feeling Steve hates it.
I'd rather listen to Paul sing.
Okay. I think it's an okay song, but you know, the fact that we use the term classic rock. Oh, by the way, the local classic rock station is now calling itself the Palm Beaches Rock Station. They're no longer using the name classic rock. So fair enough, because I don't think that they fit that format anymore. Anyway, one of the things we've talked about is if you're going to include a song on a quote unquote classic rock playlist, it can't just be a rock song. It has to be a classic, right? It has to be something about it that makes it classic rock and not just rock. And like that, I thought that song Hemorrhage by Fuel was an okay song. It got a little bit of airplay over a period of several months and then kind of disappeared. but for me, it never achieved the level of what it's a classic. It never achieved that. And Paul, you brought up Shimmer, okay, which was their first single from, I think, what, 97, 98. Do you recall the
That sounds.
exact?
No, I don't. But
You know what? I've got it right here. Shimmer, 1998. Okay. So for me, I thought that was a really good song.
it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
And so all these years, I keep wondering, especially as they include more and more and more 90s rock songs on classic rock radio, I keep wondering, when are they going to play Shimmer by Fuel? I think that's a really good song. I've never heard it once. However, now they're playing Hemorrhage a lot, which I think is an okay rock song. But
It just shows
anyway,
whoever's making the decisions, if it's computer or AI or some jackass who trying to, it almost makes you think there's payola going on where they're trying to push. I just don't get it. No, nor do I don't listen to it, so I don't really care. So,
No, I think
right.
they're just targeting the market, guys who are probably my age. That's the demographic they're
yeah, but
targeting.
you said you hate that song.
I do.
So then
Because
it's not working.
I have superior tastes than
You do.
other people my age.
I won't argue with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Well, anyway, so listen, but while we're on Shimmer and Fuel, do you guys know what that song's about?
Well, yeah, some girl that's like he can't get rid of, and she's got into him into his brain, and that's what it sounds like to me. He can't. He's like we've all three of us I know have been in that kind of relationship where some woman's got into us, and that's what I think it's about. Kenny, correct me now because you lean forward.
I'm about to. Steve, any thoughts?
No, I
If
don't
I
know
could
what Paul's
slap you,
talking
I
about
would.
anyways.
Okay. So first of all, I liked the song before I ever really understood the lyrics.
Are you gonna say Professor of Rock?
No, he had nothing to do with it. I don't know. A few years back, I looked it up and was reading it. I go, wow, that is really cool. I had no idea. So he's singing about this ex-girlfriend,
Yes, like I said.
okay, who is engaged to marry another guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the wedding is imminent. It's about to happen. So she calls him, her ex, to say, I don't know if I really want to go through with this. I'm having second thoughts and having doubts, because in the lyrics he says, "Can I be a friend?"
Of course.
Yeah. So she's calling him to get, I don't know, advice, get his thoughts, opinions upon her status as, I'm about to get married, but I've got second thoughts. I'm not sure if I want to do it. She's seeking advice from him as a friend, but he's still attracted to her and still likes her.
I think yeah.
And she is looking at him now with someone perhaps to cheat with.
Yeah,
while she's
that's
having
what I
these
just
second
said.
thoughts. Okay.
That's what I
Okay.
said,
Well,
though.
anyway, you were in the right ballpark. So anyway, I already liked the song, but then once I read all that, I go, wow, that just kicked it up a few notches. That's even better, So, but on the video, there's an instrumental break in the song where they're just jamming, and I just think it's the coolest. They are really rocking, and there's just something about that raw, unrestrained rock energy that I just pulls me in, when I see it and hear it. So anyway, that's my feelings.
But I agree with you. You said that's why I said we had that show about the signature moment of a band where they start in that jam section of whatever song and they're getting their sound. Like how hard is Eddie Van Halen playing Michael Anthony, right? And Alex. I'm just using Van Halen as an example, but versus some bands like never really rock out. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll play the bare minimum to get to the song and quit. It's
Right.
almost like, I don't know.
Right.
That was my criticism of Toto.
Oh,
And
I was just getting ready to say Toto was the greatest example of that, and then you said it before I even.
Well,
because I always be like, these guys got so much chops.
I would
Right.
disagree. I think it has to do with how the Toto was mixed. Because if you listen to the guitar, like
I know.
Hold the Line,
Hold the Line is one of the greatest songs ever.
Yeah,
no question.
The mix on it, the guitar is really held back.
Yeah, but it's not just that though. Like for instance, the song "Jukebox Heroes" by Foreigner. Yeah, I go juke, and then they have that minute section where they jam out
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. I think it's what Kenny was talking about. This that minute section of,
Right.
give me a little red meat. I don't
Well,
have to have
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
need Freebird. I just need some red meat.
Right. Now, since you mentioned Toto, I'm going to throw this one out. Toto 3. It wasn't called Toto 3. It was called I think it was called Turn Back. I think the album was called Turn Back, but it was their third album. It had two good rock songs. It might have been the first two songs on the album, but both of them, right when you want the song to kick it into another gear and rock, it pulls back instead, and they restrain themselves from doing what they needed to do to make the song great. And it's so frustrating when you listen to it, because you go, this is a good song, but they didn't kick it.
But that's
when they
that's why they're yacht rock, or sort of referred to as yacht rock.
Yeah, you're right.
Kenny, I need you to go back. We've had this conversation about another album, and this whole thing, what you just made, we had this conversation like 35, 40 years ago about Starship, Jefferson Starship. When I said they like, find your way back to your heart,
right?
Find you, and then it's like, okay, the song's over. I'm like, it's like they were afraid to have a minute of playing it.
Right.
Oh, you and I had this conversation once, and like I was bitching about Starship, that last album with Mickey Thomas, and anyway,
they were just stuck knee deep in the hoopla.
That was good.
It was good. It was good because it was unprepared. If we had prepared and he had cooked that up in advance, it would have sounded very,
stilted.
Yeah, but that was brilliant. I got
good, Steve.
I got to give it to Steve. That was a good one.
So yeah, but I don't know what it is. Why do they, Steve? It's like, why?
Okay, here's my guess. Here's my guess. So you got the record company looking at radio and saying, if we push it too hard, pop mainstream radio won't want to play it so much. It'll get relegated to the rock stations, but it doesn't get the mainstream success.
That's could be right.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. Because
and they needed it probably from a time to meet radio.
The 3 minute, 3 to 4 minute. Yeah.
But if you looked at Toto 4, which won 10 Grammys or something, and the songs are phenomenal. None of them push into rock territory. They have a little bit of rock element. They don't push it that hard. But if that was the record company's thought, hey, keep this thing within certain limits so that we sell a lot of records, I mean, they banked it,
Why do they call themselves, I'm not trying to be funny right now, Toto? Because I'm not, do you know the answer, Kenny?
I do not know.
I don't know.
There's this movie.
Tell us, but
no, I don't. Yeah, there's a movie called there's a movie called Living in Oblivion. Did you see that movie at UCF?
Oh, I've seen. Yes, and that's what I think of every time Toto comes on the radio.
Yes, Kenny. There's this movie, and it's got. I think the dwarf.
It's Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's very subtle. Like
it is a 10 out of 10.
I agree.
Really? Okay.
There's a scene where they want him, now he's a dwarf, to dance around this woman, Catherine Keener, and then throw flowers.
Oh, she was in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, wasn't she?
Yeah, this was
I never saw that movie.
Early mid-90s.
Oh my God, Paul, you haven't seen that? It's so good. It really is.
Okay, so all right, so he's throwing the flowers around, and he's dancing around, but he won't laugh. And they're like, cut. And he goes, could you laugh? And he goes, yeah, and he won't laugh. So for the third time, he goes, this is the stupidest effing thing I've ever seen in my life. He goes, I'm a dwarf, and when I have dreams, there are no dwarfs in my dreams. That's what he said. It's so funny. I'm a dwarf, and when I have dreams, there are no dwarfs in my dreams. And so the girl keeps calling him Toto, like the dog in Wizard of Oz. His name is Tito.
Tito.
He goes, it's Tito. And she goes, can Toto do that one more time? He starts to get really mad.
Oh my God.
That's why with Steve and I, when we say Toto, I think we both go to that movie.
Right.
It's a movie about
trying
to make a movie. And Steve Buscemi plays the director in the movie. So
it's really good.
It's really
some good stuff on there. Anyway,
okay.
all right.
I've heard of it, never seen it. I never heard a backstory. I mean, when Toto first appeared in '78, I mean, everyone I just assumes they were naming themselves after the dog in Wizard of Oz, but there was no story or anything ever given for it. So who knows? Maybe it's initials or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. All right, what's our next topic, leader?
Uh, I don't know, but I'll tell you this much. In looking at both of these bands, Fuel and Toto, what? What are you
Well,
laughing
that's
so
the
funny?
stretch.
They're
Well, what's
comparing these two bands. That's what I thought that's
Oh,
funny.
not really compare. Well, maybe I am. They both have been through. It's amazing. Not that I've really followed either one, but they've got so many personnel changes over the years.
Well, I was
Gee,
going to
I
say
will
what.
say I never
Okay.
liked that type of like I never liked grunge in the 90s. I really despised it. I was not a Pearl Jam fan. I liked a couple of songs off their first record,
Yeah, the
even
first
for
album was good, very good. Yeah.
hey,
but
hey,
I
Steve,
would say
Steve, hold that thought real quick. Let me just say this. You know, we did a show a while back about bands that were never able to recapture, and we didn't say Pearl Jam, but we should have because their
Right.
first album was really good.
Yeah.
They've sold records since then, but they never matched that again.
yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but I will at least I recognize the greatness that other people have for them, and I'll give them props for that. But I want to mention there's one song that I hated when it came out on the radio in the 90s, and it was very popular. Um, it's by Three Doors Down. It's that Kryptonite song.
Yeah, it was 2000 actually, I think. But okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know that song.
That song is sort of had a resurgence on the radio, sort of like in the
Really?
classic rock and on the classic kind of rock
You are
stations.
correct. They play it, yeah.
And so I will say that's a song that I now really enjoy. But when it came out at the time, I hated it. I don't know what it was about it. Again,
Yeah.
it felt more of the sort of 90s alternative, which I was just
I
vehemently
concur.
opposed to at the time.
It didn't work for me, and I was hearing it way too much, and I didn't care for it in the first place. And you're right that the classic rock station plays it now, but it's
It's
still
sort of
not my
like that
favorite.
Fuel, that Hemorrhage song was just so overplayed when it
It
first
was.
came.
It was. I concur.
Well, do you guys remember when Fuel came out? They had that big hit right there,
Shimmer.
Shimmer. And then that year, a year later, Chris Daughtry got like third or fourth on American Idol, and they invited him to join the band, and he turned them down. If you remember that,
Correct. Correct.
and it was just a weird thing. I'm like, well, maybe Chris. And like Daughtry, I've heard some of his videos. He doesn't blow my skirt up, and he's a really. I mean, I don't know him, but he seemed to be a nice guy on Chris.
Well,
Just
talented guy. It's the songwriting. That's the biggest
yeah,
thing with people who are on American Idol. That
Yeah.
and what's the newer show, the Voice? Those people are really good singers,
they say
but
crap.
the reason why they don't break out is because they're not
Right.
good songwriters.
Right. Paul, let me give you my thoughts real quick on that. So Fuel, okay, they have their big hit Shimmer, 1998, and then Hemorrhage 2001. Daughtry was on American Idol in I believe it was 2003, if I'm
Okay.
correct. Okay. So anyway, the guy really had a massive ego. I say that not as an attack. I think he's talented, and I liked a few of his songs, but he really had a massive ego because I remember the night that he was cut, he almost couldn't accept it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I do
wasn't
remember that. I
graceful
remember.
about it. Yeah, and so anyway, my guess is he was probably. I mean, he probably was advised. Listen, Fuel is a band that has already peaked, and they're moving in a direction. Whereas you're just coming off of a hit TV show in which the entire world was
Yeah.
watching you week after week after week. It's not a solid career move for you. You're popular on your own. This is a band who's fading, and you don't want to get dragged down with them.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I just don't know if that's what I mean. I don't like if you looked at their career trajectory since then. I don't know who sold the most albums.
Well, I bet more people know who Chris Daughtry is than
Yeah.
they do Fuel.
Daughtry,
Maybe.
his first like 3 or 4 albums, whatever, he sold a lot of records. And being as fair as I can possibly be, every one of those albums had 2 or 3 really good songs. Now, again, Paul, he didn't push the envelope into the real, rock out territory, but they were pop rock songs. And
Yeah.
I don't know that he wrote them. Maybe he didn't, but I'll tell you what, he's got some good songs. He does.
And
You know what's funny is that
It's airplay
Beato,
now. I mean, he still is getting airplay.
well, like Rick Beato talked about this. He says the days of a band are over.
Yes.
So there's no more fuel or gasoline. I'm just being funny now. Kerosene.
Well, that was 20 years ago. I mean, when
No,
Daughtry was out.
I understand. I'm just saying you're not going to see too many more bands. Like Greta Van Fleet's a band, of course, but like,
No, in fact,
you know what I'm saying?
Can you name one guitar player who's younger than 40 years old?
No, I don't
Probably
think so.
not.
I mean, I even think those days are done.
Yeah, right.
Like rock guitar, there are no more rock guitar gods who are.
So when Rick Beato says there's no more bands, what's the
Because he says it's just one person that's a driving force, and there's no 4 people
well,
because they've lost so much money on, and that's their own fault for signing garbage.
I think really what he was also alluding to is that now you have. So back in the day, like Metallica, you didn't have the ability to record everything digitally. So if you
Right.
wanted, so you really needed all 4 people to sort of come together and sort of play at once. Where now it's, if anybody has an iPhone has GarageBand on it, and anybody can plug into it and record a single track of them playing guitar, drums, bass, whatever. And there's so much that you can just sample. You can download pre-recorded drum tracks. I'm sure you can probably do it with other instruments as well. So it's just a lot easier for one person to sort of do it all themselves digitally on a computer and with AI too. So
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I told you guys that I found all these channels on YouTube that I come to find out these aren't real bands. It's all AI. AI even made the pictures of the band members. The music is 100% AI, everything, and some of it's not bad. So I was like,
I've actually gone on and you can. It's amazing what you can do on some of those, and I still have some already. Obviously, people already beat me to it, but I wanted to do like an AI generated metal band, and I already had like the whole the name and everything I was going to do with it, and album names and tracks, song names and everything. But I don't know. I'm too lazy.
Paul, weren't you going to name your album Knee Deep in the Poopla?
Knee deep in the poopla.
Number 1 most streamed album. I can see that happening.
Right. What was Starship thinking anyway when they named their album Knee Deep in the Hoopla?
God, I
remember. I'm guilty. I have a confession though. I really do like that song.
Well, Steve,
we built
I appreciate the fact that you're always willing to sacrifice your dignity. You always make confessions, and I go, "This is going to be legit." He's not making it up.
I do like that song.
Well,
and look at the shirt I'm wearing. So
right. The funny thing about We Built a City was, at the time that it was popular and it was all over the radio and MTV, the hate, it did not yet exist. That took a little longer as the first year and then the second year and third passed. Like the hate started to snowball until pretty soon it was the most reviled song ever. But at the time it was popular, nobody hated it. It's goofy or whatever, And
I can understand why people like you guys didn't like it, because when it came out, I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old. So
right.
Kids don't really hate
correct
popular stuff at that age. So
right, and also the music universe, it's driven by the youth, teenagers and younger people. So for those who aren't fully aware of the roots in the 60s, Jefferson Airplane, and then even in the 70s when they were Jefferson Starship, they it was progressive rock, pop, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't hard, but still it was some really well crafted, complex songs. That guitar player, is his name Craig Chiquiso or something like that, Steve?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, he was really he eventually left the band and became like a jazz guitarist, and he's
I can see that,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but by the time they were just Starship, it was just kind of a pop band. And it's, if you had ever listened to Don't You Want Somebody to Love, and then you're listening to this going, how did this happen?
Exactly.
It was just hard to accept. Yeah.
It is fascinating that to hear the dichotomy between those two songs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's, you settle down, you got house payments, you got kids, you got Ferraris to pay for, you gotta, remember like Boston, they gotta slow it down, get that song Amanda, get that bank account back up,
And the fact, was it Rick Dees or Shadow Stevens that they got on that song? Who was like,
Oh,
Oh God, Steve.
it was somebody. It was one of the Bay Area DJs, but I'm not sure who it was.
to this day, I even like that part of the song.
Fair enough.
And didn't Chevrolet or Ford use that for their things? Right? We built this. Remember that? I think
Somebody did. Somebody did.
But it was in I know you guys don't play video games, but Grand Theft Auto. It was one of the soundtrack or one of the songs you could play while you're driving your car in Grand Theft Auto, which is a very popular
it was that or Living on a Prayer.
But okay, so by the way, we're down to about 4 minutes. So before we wrap up, Paul, I'm going to throw this at you real quick and see. I'm sort of testing your memory here and sort of testing mine at the same time. Do you remember the year would have been 1985? It would have been right around July. Kyron was in town visiting. Just Steve, Steve met Kyron?
No,
I've never met him. No.
Okay, you've heard about him. Okay, so Kyron was in town, and he was here for a week or two or something. And we had made plans, a group of us. There was going to be about, 6 or 7 or 8 people to go to Six Flags Atlantis. Do you remember this?
Oh my, no, I don't. Keep going.
Okay, so it was right around July, and because the reason I know that is because the Mr. West Palm Beach contest was already over. Okay, and so we were going to like 2 cars, I think. So it's 7 or 8 people, and on our way to Fort Lauderdale, the biggest thunderstorm, rainstorm in South Florida history hit. We're on 95 going south, and it's just raining so hard, and the sky is so dark as far as you can see. So we made an executive decision to get off at one of the first, probably Pompano exits or something like that. And we whoever was in the front, this car behind followed. We pulled into like a Taco Bell or something and went inside, the whole group. And so we're like, okay, this plan didn't work out. So want to just call it a day and go back home because it's mid-afternoon, or should we do something else? And I think we decided to go to the movies, and I think we saw that movie Cocoon. Do you remember Cocoon?
Of course.
Yeah, I figured you would. Does any of that sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay. It happened.
I believe you.
Yeah. I remember it. We were going to go to Six Flags Atlantis. We canceled because of rain and ended up seeing Cocoon, which is phenomenal.
When you say Six Flags Atlantis, where would that have been?
That's like a 12-hour drive.
No. Hollywood, right off of I-95. Not Six Flags. Six Flags Atlantis. It was a water theme park.
I thought you were saying Atlanta.
No.
Oh.
Didn't me and you and Lori and her sister go there, the 4 of us?
Separate. Yeah.
I have no knowledge of other thing.
It was not Lori. It was a different girlfriend of yours and her sister.
Oh my God.
It wasn't Lori.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
You got about a minute and a half left, by the way.
Okay, the mescaline was pretty powerful that day. So what can I say?
Well, anyway, I don't know why it popped into my head a few days ago, and I was thinking about man, I remember that so clearly. I'm gonna check and see if Paul remembers it.
Were we knee deep in the hoopla that day?
We were. Yeah. That was the highlight. So
Good,
all right,
Steve.
let's wrap it up. Have any final thoughts?
Okay, I saw Go ahead, Steve. You go
I was
ahead.
just saying, I think Wilford Brimley was like in his early 50s when Cocoon was made.
Yeah.
No joke.
Right. And looked
You know,
like he was in his 80s.
Yes.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna thank you for mentioning that. I'm gonna have my family watch that movie. That's a good family movie, kind of.
It's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
And,
Texas Hippie Coalition Friday night. They were very good. I didn't really care for their set list, but they did well. The guy's got a booming voice and a very good band. It's super heavy metal and bluesy. And I didn't realize how much they're into God. He's talking about his pastor and Jesus. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
cool.
okay, all right. But
Excellent.
he's still, him and I have the same vocabulary. So anyway, interesting.
All right. All right. We're going to wrap it up. Tonight's topic was kind of all over the map, but sometimes that's what we do. It's all right.
That's right.
Okay. So this is the Great Classic Rock Debate. I'm Kenny.
I'm Paul.
I'm Steve.